हज़रत मोहतरम साहब के हुक्म पर ये मैं गुजारिश करता हूँ हमारे शोएब सर से कि वो आए, डाइस पर तशरीफ़ लाएँ और तलबा से इंग्लिश में खिताब फरमाएँ।
Honorable President, respected teachers and beloved students, let me begin by expressing my profound gratitude to Maulana Nadwi Sir for giving me the honor to speak some words here today. Today I have the pleasure of addressing you all, especially you students, on the topic of importance of English language and how can we strive to improve our proficiency in it. Maulana Muhammad Azhar Nadwi has introduced cultural programs conducted fortnightly. Each and every student has to take part in English elocution competitions. Please don't try to avoid it. Instead, present your names for it. It will remove your hesitation, increase your confidence, and enhance your speaking skills. These programs are wonderful platforms for you to enhance your speaking skills, and you are not going to get these opportunities anywhere else. So grab this opportunity. Some students ask me why they should learn English language and what its benefits are. So firstly, you should learn English for dawah purpose, to convey the message of Islam to the whole world. If you get, after becoming alim, if you get opportunity to travel abroad, and if you don't know English, so how will you communicate with them? It will only be possible if you know English language. So you have to make this intention for learning English. This intention will make the English learning process rewardable, because Hadith says, "Innamal a'malu binniyat." Actions depend on intentions. So your intention must be for dawah purpose. Secondly, English is the language of higher studies. If you want to pursue higher education, you must know English. English is currently the language of science and internet. About 52% of the world's most visited websites are displayed in English language. So if you know English, it means you have access to over half of the content of the internet, which might not be available otherwise. And thirdly, intellectuals of our society will be impressed by you only if you know English language, only if you are proficient in English language. Otherwise, they may take you lightly. Though your position in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very great, very high, but intellectuals might not know it. Maulana Nadwi has mentioned it many times, what Maulana Muhammad Wali Rahmani said, that only that alim will be able to lead Muslim Ummah who can speak English, who can understand English. Look at the examples of many contemporary Islamic scholars. They are top scholars and possess English language skills. For example, Justice Mufti Muhammad Taqi Usmani Sahab. He is a fluent English speaker and a prominent Islamic figure in the world. He was a judge. He was a judge of the Central Sharia Court of Pakistan from 1980 to 1982, and the Sharia Appeal Bench of the Supreme Court of Pakistan from 1982 to 2002. He is the chairman of many Sharia boards of Islamic banks all over the world. He has written Islamic books in English, Arabic, Urdu. Would all these great works of his be possible if he had not learnt English language? Definitely not. Take the instance of Maulana Zulfikar Ahmad Naqshbandi. He is engineer. He has good command over international languages. He travels all over the world to preach Islam. Consider the case of Maulana Khalilur Rahman Sajjad Numani and Maulana Khalid Saifullah Rahmani. They are great Islamic scholars, they have deep Islamic knowledge, and they are very good at English as well. That's why they were made spokespersons of all India Muslim Personnel Law Board. And last but not the least, our principal, Maulana Jamal Arif Nadwi. He also has expertise in English, Arabic, Urdu. He knows the importance of English language. That's why here in this institution, we are offering you Islamic education with modern education. Here computer courses and English speaking courses are conducted for you. One more importance of English language is learning any language improves memory and brain function. Learning a language strengthens the area of the brain responsible for the memory and speech. Bilingual people means those who speak two languages. They are better at retaining lists, sequences, names and directions. And they are more creative and can concentrate for longer. Now I would like to shed some light on how you can improve English language. So there are three things that will help you very much, and these three things are very necessary for improving English language: listening, reading and speaking. Don't underestimate listening. Just think of how a child learns a language. He just listens for 1.5 years or 2 years. He doesn't read books, he doesn't know grammar, he only listens. Then after 2 years, he starts speaking slowly, gradually. First he speaks words, then he speaks in phrases, then he talks in sentences. So the same way you should start speaking. And listening, correct your pronunciation. It gives you correct accent and it gives you pleasure if you are interested in English language. If you are interested, so listening and reading will be fun for you. It will be very interesting. And if you are not interested in learning a new language, so the learning process may be boring for you. So you should pray to Allah Ta'ala that if you are not interested, you should pray to Allah Ta'ala that Allah should make you interested in learning. So the learning process will be easier for you. And if you are not interested, so the learning process will be difficult and hard for you. Second thing is reading. A language is learned in the form of sentences, in the form of stories. When you memorize one word and one meaning, one verb and its meaning, so you memorize it, but when the situation comes, you are confused, you are unable to use that particular verb. But when you read the verb in sentences, in stories, then you are able to use that verb in correct situation. That's why we show you stories, we emphasize on listening in smart classes. And listening and reading should not be confined only in classes, should not be confined to as long as you are being taught. You should continue listening and reading unless you are satisfied that you have got command over English language. At that time, till that time you should continue listening and reading. Listening and reading is input and speaking and writing is output. So the more you have input, the more will be output. If there is no input, there will be no output. So listening and reading is very important. Here I am showing you a path, a way how can you learn English. Now you have to travel on this path, you have to complete your journey and reach your destination by yourself. I can show you just a path. And one more important thing is speaking. Speaking is the most important thing. Suppose if you know all the grammar items, you have vocabulary, but you don't practice with your friends, So you will not be able to speak English. My teacher told me that speaking comes from speaking. Speaking comes from speaking. So you need to start speaking from today. Sleeping? Is sleeping? So you need to start from today speaking. Whatever you know, start from today. And don't be afraid of making mistakes. Definitely you will make mistakes while speaking. Don't be afraid that others will make fun of you. It's essential part of learning process. Some students ask me how many months will it take for them to learn English language. So let me tell you that it depends on the speed of learning. How speed you learn. The more you increase your vocabulary, the more you practice with your friends, the sooner you will learn English language. So it depends on your learning speed. I hope you will act upon the advice coming to my speech. Here I conclude my speech. Thank you so much for listening patiently. Assalamu alaikum.